Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And recently I saw an article that really jumped out at me on NikonRumors.com. It was mock-up photos of a Nikon Z SP camera, a rangefinder kind of camera. And I'm going to ask the same question the article asked. Is this a camera that I would buy? Let's talk about it. Hold up, quick interruption. We'll get back to the video in just a second. Now, are you tired of guessing your way through off-camera flash, building your portfolio, working with a model, or struggling to take better portraits in natural light? Yeah, I've been there.
Sign me up, because that's me.
Now is your time to learn from someone who's already made the mistakes so you don't have to. That's why I offer personal mentorship, online or in person. Whether you want to nail your lighting, sharpen your editing, or just want to stop making videos that look like crime scene footage, I got you. You don't have to figure this stuff out alone. Let's get your work looking like you actually meant to do it. Click the link below or head to robertsillphotography.com and let's get to work. Now, back to the video. Now, before we take a look at the article itself, what made this article stick out to me is that recently on a live stream I had, I was talking about the benefit of having a camera like this. What I mean by like this is the form factor, the size, really. And this is the Lumix LX100. There is a 0.2 version, but this is the 100. And what I really like about it is how compact it is. It is micro four thirds. It is a fixed lens, camera, so you can't take this thing off. It's not interchangeable. It packs a lot of features in it, gives me great photos, but yet it is discreet for when I'm out and about shooting. When I recently meaning about a month ago, went to Michigan, I brought my Z8 with me and I did a photo shoot and that was great. Everything was phenomenal. But what I realized is throughout the entire trip, I didn't want to lug around the Z8 and a lens or two. I honestly didn't. I wanted to just take great photos, but not with my cell phone. And I kind of wish I had a camera that is compact. This is kind of like a rangefinder kind of style camera. And that's compact, but takes great photos. And also allowed me to not kill the battery on my cell phone. So when I saw this article, I was like, wait a minute, this is a little too good to be true, because it's ironic that I was just talking about having a camera like this where it's nice and compact, really good for travel. Now, I know a lot of you out there are going to say, Robert, didn't you say the ZF is that kind of camera? Yes and no, okay? Yes, the ZF is slim. It is great for travel. It's a fantastic camera. I absolutely loved using it when I did get it. And the only reason why I sold it was to get the Nikon Z6 Mark III. But it's not this small. It's not this small. And of course, usually when you go compact, you're always going to lose something. I get it. But compact for those particular occasions would be exactly what I needed when I travel. We all know Fuji's doing really great with the V106, I believe they have. And then Sony just came out with a very powerful fixed lens camera. So with that said, this Nikon Z SP camera kind of fits the bill, but it looks interchangeable. So let's take a diver deep into it. Let's go. Okay, so here we are at NikonRumors.com. The article was just a few days ago on August 2nd there. And it obviously says here is a mock-up of a Nikon ZP camera. Would you buy one? And that really is kind of what I'm asking myself. And I want to ask all of you out there as well. Is this a camera that you would buy? So, anywho, so you can see right here, they say, obviously, it's a mock-up based on the historical Nikon S rangefinder camera, okay? And I think this would be a fantastic nod. Let me get out of that. It would be a fantastic nod to not only Nikon's historical rangefinder camera, but also it would be a great way to go against Sony and Fuji with their nice retro compact cameras. Now, to me, when I look at this, it looks like it's still interchangeable. So that would be a great advantage, to tell you the truth. If it could be as compact as, what was that Sony camera? But if we could make it as compact as that new camera they came out with, that's $5,500, and or the Fuji V106, but interchangeable, that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty awesome. Okay. It's nice and sleek as I would expect it to be. Let's see. And then here we have the 26mm f2.8 on there, which is what used to live on my Nikon ZF. So if you have the Nikon ZF, you already have this lens. But it does look paired very well with that. Let's take a look at some of these other photos. Now, I mean, for all we know, this could be straight up, what do you call it? AI. But let's just dabble with let's just have some fun. So here we are with the 40 f.2 lens on there, which I absolutely loved, and I loved using it with the ZF. So you can see right here, we have a very nice sleek design. It looks very much similar to like that LX100 I pulled up in terms of like the shape. It looks very compact, just the way you can see the camera straps being super small, therefore, or looks very close together. Like this is not gonna be a big camera at all, if it is real. Okay, has a hot shoe, so that's nice. So we can still be able to use flash or a flash trigger. Now here we go. We have the nice Nikon engraved on the top there. Tokyo, Nippon, Kagaku, whatever. And you know what I'm saying, hopefully. Now, I do like how textile and minimalistic this layout is with the button design. You have the aperture LED screen right there. It's a little retro little situation going on there. So if you just needed to know, there you go. There's your f-stop. You have your shutter speed and your compensation here, and a nice protruding shutter button, which is very reminiscent of the ZF. So if you're familiar with the ZF, there's more than likely going to have the same experience. A red button for recording video, which I wouldn't be shocked this shot up to, what would I say, 6K video. An ISO button, which looks a little small. I wonder how easy it will be for your fingers to get there in between the dial for the shutter speed and the shutter button. So we'll find out if this camera is real. Looks like the on and off is actually connected to the shutter button. That's what I'm assuming, because you can see it there. I'm thinking it's that black part, and you just turn it left or right, I'm guessing. Okay. Back dial here. Let me see if we have a better. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a real nice. Oh, yeah, you do. Excuse me. There's the on and off right there in the front of the shutter release button. Let's see if we have better photos of the actual back. Well, look how compact that is. I already know this is going to be very compact, because that lens, the 40 f2, is a small compact lens. Super sharp. Okay. Looks. This is definitely a cool camera. Like if you're just going to have the camera sitting on your... I want a nice clean photo of just the back. That's what I'm trying to look for, but it's not giving me that on this website. Look at the gray. The silver, excuse me. The silver and black. That's a nice retro touch. Personally, I think I would do the all black, but... You know, to each his own. What would you do? What would you do out there? Would you do the black? Would you do the silver with black trim, or would you do the all black? Which one would you prefer? Let's see here. All right, it's not giving me the entire back, but we can see most of it here. You have the zoom in, zoom out. You have the information button, the I button, and a quick menu. You do have a dial here to change the autofocus point, so that's cool. It looks like you have a little joystick there. It also looks like you have a quick button right here to switch between photo and video. So therefore, that's affirmed. We're going to be able to shoot video. I mean, it was kind of affirmed with the red record button, but there we go. What else is there? Display button and a main menu button. So that looks good to go. I'm sure this will be about a 3-inch screen. Rangefinder, kind of viewfinder. And what are those two buttons right there? Oh, that's trash and playback menu. Cool. So it's very minimalistic. You get everything you need. Really can't complain. I'm really digging this camera. Only if it was real. Who knows if it's real? It could be, it can't be. Who knows? Okay, so the real question is, would you buy it? Me personally, if this camera actually existed, I definitely would. Because I want a camera that's not only small and doesn't scream camera, but that's compact and concealable for safety purposes, really. But also can pack a punch as well. I was really happy with the photos I would get out of the Nikon ZF. So shout out to that camera, 0 issues with it. But if I could have one that's even slightly smaller, I would grab it up. I would definitely grab it up. A camera that I could easily put in a small pocket, if not my jean pocket, but for sure, a small backpack pocket, okay? Or even in my laptop bag, something like that that's very compact. And it's not this. It's not my cell phone. I am tired of that excuse of using your cell phone as a secondary camera. Yeah, you can, but the low light capability and the quality you get out of it is nothing compared to your camera. It's just nowhere near it. It just mathematically just can't compute. It can't compare, okay? So with all that said, I would definitely buy it. Now, what price would this camera be if it were to come out? I would say this camera would be around $1,500. If they did it around $1,500, it would sell very, very well. Could they keep it under $1,500 to $1,000? If it was an APS-C, perhaps. If it's a full frame camera, it could still do up to 6K video, 4K 120, basically the internals of a Z6 Mark III, but put it in this compact little body. Now, granted, you're not going to get as much video long-term performance out of it. It may overheat. I mean, I don't see how heat dispersion. It's probably going to do like 4K 60, right? If it's that very small, tight body, 4K 60 at the most, which is fine because you wouldn't get this camera for video. Let's be honest. You're getting this camera for aesthetic, for the size, and take some great photos. Have fun taking photos. So that's what you're really getting it for. So if it can do 6K, I'm curious to see how long that runtime for that video would be, because I could see the way the construction is. It's definitely, have chances of overheating. Okay, but anyway, we're not even here for video with this camera. So I would say $1,500. Let me know, first of all, down below, would you buy this camera? And also, how much do you think this camera would be? And the third question is, do you think this rumor is actually real? And if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, don't forget to press that like, that share, that subscribe, and hit the bell to get notifications for my upcoming content. I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting and stay creative.